Hello, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back because I have no choice. Because, as always, you find the mainstream media, especially the Western media, spewing lies. And after all, with the record, the whole history of American government officials, American statements, Americans' establishment statements, America's, basically in general, America's narrative through its media, as well as Israel's, has always been blatant lies. And so, with their history of lies, I think at least I would, suspect any statements issued by the US saying that Israel, for example, attacked Iran or was successful in attacking Iran. First of all, you need to understand, let me once again remind you what retaliation is. What Iran did is retaliation. What Iran did was an act of defense, okay? Because Israel basically attacked Iranian soil, which is illegal, and the fact that Israel got away with it scot-free because America and Israel have been trying their best to engage in war with Iran so that they could use that to their advantage. But Iran, as I said, is too smart. Iran, for the last 40 years, has very successfully managed to evade their traps and instead put them in a trap of their own. So right now, even if Iran claims that Israel failed in its very lame and pathetic attempts, then I am more inclined to believe Iran. Because you see, it's very simple. To me, it's very, very simple. A liar versus somebody who has hardly told any lies. Just weigh the scales. You have America that has a history of lies. You have Europe, Britain especially, that has a history of lies. Israel in itself is a lie. The very existence of Israel is a lie. So who are you going to believe? A non-existent state, a liar, or a state that is, that has centuries of culture, civilization, and a state that has never been prone to making exaggerated statements? And also a state that is known to immediately eliminate the enemy. How many times has America tried to interfere within Iran? How many times has Iran sent them dead bodies of their would-be terrorists and spies? Just do the math. So I would rather believe Iran, and I'm more inclined to believe Iran when it says that Israel made a pathetic attempt. And I don't think, and Israel obviously also made a pathetic attempt because they cannot afford a war. Contrary to whatever it is that the American media is trying to, misinform the public on, actually, Iran will not be at any disadvantage if it does have a direct confrontational war with Israel. It is not at all going to be to Iran's disadvantage. If anything, it's going to be to America's and Israel's disadvantage. And Israel is very, very aware of it. Right now, Israel is in no condition to engage with any other country because it is knees deep in its own shit that it started in Palestine. And America obviously is never in a state to have a direct confrontation. America has always used proxies. America used Ukraine against Russia. America has right now buried Pakistan deep into its recesses because America basically wants to be able to control Pakistan so that it can use Pakistan's soil against China and against Russia. It's so obvious the way America works. America is such a coward. Like the Brit, after all, they are offshoots of the Brits, aren't they? They're offshoots of their European, ancestors, who were themselves cowards. Have you ever heard of any European actually going out fighting a war and properly conquering a country? No, they all sneaked into different countries. They used proxy attacks. They used people within those countries to attack their own people. They're thieves and looters and plunderers. What do you expect from them? They're cowards, they always were. They are not they're not warriors. They don't know how to directly confront their enemy. They only know how to backstab. So, understanding all that now, let's move on to the Corps Commander scandal, which is, as I said, I don't know why everybody's making such a huge fuss about it. And it's in fact, from what I understand from Shabazz Gill, Dr. Shabazz Gill, who in his vlog he quotes his sources, and although he kept on repeating that there is no evidence, there is no hardcore evidence, there's no direct evidence in his hands, but that his sources are trusted, and it is only because of that he is obliged to share their information regarding the reason behind the corps commander of Mangla, whose name is Eman Bilal Safdar, the reason behind his resignation. So allegedly, when he went to Umrah a few months ago, when he went to Saudi a few months ago for Umrah with his wife, the hotel that he was staying in. Now here I find it really, really odd that the source, or maybe Dr. Shabazz himself, somehow left it very ambiguous as to whether it was one friend or a number of friends and relatives or whatever who came to meet him at his hotel, and that they had a discussion in which obviously he aired his opinions about what's going on in Pakistan, and that there was somebody who secretly recorded it. And before his return to Pakistan, that recording with a report was already submitted to his superiors, who asked for an explanation. And it was decided that, it would be better if he, resigned instead of being officially fired. So, as no matter what the reason, it's as I had already speculated that most probably he was obliged to bow out. He was forced to bow out by his superiors for whatever reasons. And as we can see, that the end conclusion, no matter what the reason, is exactly as speculated, which, as I said, it's very easy to predict what people are doing. Really, it's very easy, because if you look at people, if you look at human nature, if you're aware of your society, your culture, I find that really, really I mean, forget my analysis, and how I do it, forget that. That's not even that important. What's actually more important is how I find it highly pathetic and ridiculous that, it's something that I've talked about in my podcast whenever I have talked about my pet peeves about desis, about our local people, and one of the biggest problems that I have with them is that wherever they sit, they're not tight-lipped. Wherever they sit, they're always back stabbing somebody else, as in, they're always talking about other people behind their backs. They're always bad-mouthing people. They're very loose-lipped, and they're always gossiping about somebody else, and they're very narcissistic. They always have to have an opinion about everything, and it gets them into trouble, obviously. I mean, especially considering that you're in the army, for God's sake, man, you're in the army. Look who you're serving. Look who your superior is. Look who the politicians are right now. And I mean, look at you, all reckless, thinking you can trust the people around you. How did Pakistan reach where it is? I've kept on saying that Pakistan is a nation of traitors. You can just easily buy anybody. You can easily sell anybody. And that is why Pakistan is so, it's so easy for them to, always control Pakistan. And now how they're fully controlled is because your very army are traitors. Your politicians are traitors. They're all sellouts. Your media, they're traitors and sellouts. You just tell me, what the hell made you think that you were safe to talk about whatever it is that came into your mind about your superiors and about what's going on in Pakistan and about the politicians in front of the people around you? What the hell made you think you could trust them? I don't know. Seriously. I mean, that is so reckless, so unprofessional, actually, and so unethical, and actually so stupid. It's just, and that shows, it just shows you. I mean, that is why we keep on saying we don't even know if the people are in their positions via merit or they're parachuted in using their connections and bribery and stuff. I mean, like, look at, Zardari's daughter. She was literally parachuted into being an MNA. She never contested. She never even filled a contestation form, the form that you have to fill, that you should be considered as a nominee, or you should be considered as a person who wishes to contest the elections. She never even filled that form, and she just parachuted straight in, So, I mean, Zardari got his, I can say, he had a spectacularly, splendidly flop first speech as president in the joint parliamentary session, in which you had the foreign dignitaries who bore witness to how the PTI members reacted to that whole session. And I think kudos to them, really kudos to them, because they truly represent the sentiments of the people of Pakistan. Their slogans are our slogans. The fact that Zardari is not even supposed to be the president, he stole our mandate. Yes, they had every right to protest. The fact that Imran Khan is being illegally detained, he was illegally ousted, that he needs to be released. Yes, this is again our public sentiment. So, and look at the fear of the army. According to certain, journalists, including Dr. No, not Dr. Shabazz Gill, I think including Makhdoom Shahabuddin, yeah, he was one of them who stated that, it is said that, just the night before the session, the chiefs, the chiefs and of the service chiefs, as in of the army, as well as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, that they suddenly were ordered that it would be better for them not to appear, not to, go there to the joint session where Zardari was supposed to give the speech. And that was because, they suddenly were because it was out of fear, allegedly, of what Imran Khan had said in court, in which he had openly warned and threatened Asim Munir, saying that he would be responsible if anything were to happen to Bushra Bibi. And yet, okay, again, if they were so scared of that, why don't they go and let Bushra Bibi have her tests? Why aren't they letting her have her medical tests so that they can find out once and for all if she's being poisoned or not? And why, and where's the court? The judge is so, that's, and again, why I find the judges hypocritical. And I will always blame the legal bodies of Pakistan for, basically being 100% responsible for pulling Pakistan down. The way Pakistan is today, demolishing the sovereignty of our country. This is 100% the work of the Supreme Court, the judges, the lawyers. I don't care who and what or where you are. I don't care what capacity you're in. I don't care if you're High Court, Supreme Court, Sessions Court. I don't care whatever it is that you are. The fact remains is that the whole legal body is responsible for demolishing Pakistan's sovereignty, single-handedly, working with traitors, right? And you're still working with traitors. Look at the hypocrisy. Look at the sheer hypocrisy. Oh, so you thought you could just give the order that, Bushra Bibi has to be tested. And then, you're not, there's no contempt of court now here. No contempt of court, that they've refused to listen to your orders once again. Seriously. And okay, and they're so scared of Imran Khan that they've decided to put him in this glassed booth where, he cannot talk properly or easily with his lawyers and all, because once again you have put up surveillance cameras, despite the fact that the Supreme Court had warned you against it. The High Court had also warned you not to do it. So once again the cameras are on, once again the mics are on, once again all his conversations are being recorded, once again he's being listened into. So there goes his privacy once again. Okay, and here's where, Maryam Nawaz, I would like to tell something to her. She was so hell-bent on revenge and saying whatever was done to us will be done. Woman, nothing was done to you. You lived in resorts. You actually had a motherfucking frying pan, for crying out loud. Yeah? You really want to see the inside of a jail? I will now call for an eye for an eye. You want to know an eye for an eye? This is going to be an eye for an eye, where exactly whatever it is that you've done to Bushra Bibi and whatever it is that you've done to all the PTI female members, whatever, to Khatija, to Sanam, to whoever, wherever, to Dr. Yasmin, whatever it is that you have done to Imran Khan, whatever it is that you've done to all the male PTI members as well, the exact same thing be done to you, your family members, your children, your spouse. Okay, the exact same thing to the army member, especially the chief of army staff and the other chiefs. I don't care whether you were directly or indirectly involved. At the end of the day, you're still service chiefs. You're still there in your positions. So you are involved in my book. The exact same thing should happen to you and your families too. That, my friend, is called an eye for an eye. Okay, that is called justice. Okay, and that is a justice that is actually part of divine justice. This is not revenge. This is God's divine justice. Okay, exactly whatever it is that you've done to them should be done to you. I mean, look at you queening it with protocols at our money again. You claim to be a princess. You claim to say that you have actually inherited this country from your mother's bottom. So let me ask you one thing. If you are a bona fide princess, why is it that you are sitting begging for our money? Why is it that you're living at the mercy of our hard earned wages and our taxes? Why don't you dig into your pockets to fulfill your needs? Tell me, why do you need our money to live your life and to fulfill your wants and your needs? Why do you need to use our money for your protocol? Why do you need our money for your plastic surgeries? Why do you need our money to buy your clothes? Why do you need our money for the maintenance of your cars? Why do you need our money to buy cars? You're a princess, right? Your mother shat Pakistan out of her anus. Why don't you have money? Why are you at our mercy? That's what I want to know. I mean, you are perfectly, I mean, it's already established that you are an international madam of an international variety. You've supplied God knows what to God knows how many dignitaries abroad, and maybe even within Pakistan too. You've supplied your own self to them abroad, for all I know. And it shows. It shows your whole character, the way you're actually taking money from us, and at the same time queening it and lording it above us. I mean, that is exactly how a brothel keeper is. I mean, that's the madam, so you've just proved our point that you are indeed a brothel keeper. You're taking money from your clients and then you're lording it over your clients as if they owe you that money. It's amazing. And the fact that you've got Javed Latif and Shahbaz and Maryam Nawaz herself, the way they keep on changing their statements, I mean, it is either they are extremely shameless or they're extremely demented. Because why else would they just so blatantly change their statements every few months when literally every single word that they've ever spat out of their foul mouths are on the record? Every statement that they've ever made, from the provocation speeches to the incitement speeches to the hate speeches to the vengeance speeches to the treasonous speeches to the threats to every single thing, to the fact that they had ordered the deaths of journalists and the fact that they had ordered the deaths of Imran Khan and his family. I mean, all of that, they actually literally spat all of that out on the media so many times. How dare they change their narrative, especially Nawaz Sharif? Seriously, you mofo. I mean, how demented are you that you actually think people are once again going to listen to your big ass? I mean, seriously. I mean, you're just peeing me off at this point. Why would we listen to your narrative? I mean, you are controlling the army and you want us to think that you're anti-establishment? Seriously? You are the person that is actually the broker between American establishment and Pakistani establishment. You are the actual broker. You've always been the broker on this, and Zardari is the other broker. We have two brokers mainly. We've got you and we've got Zardari. You two are the brokers between the American British establishments and the Pakistani establishment. You're the ones feeding the pigs the meat, the haram that is being given. You're the ones feeding it. And you actually want us to think that, oh, you're anti. Yeah, right. Just give us a break already, seriously. I mean, how stupid are you? I mean, we know you're dumbasses, but seriously, how stupid are you? I mean, I really don't know. I mean, again, I would say that, God, those people who are getting fooled by such people, they deserve to be fools. They deserve to be fooled, and they deserve to go to hell for that. That's all I can say. And they deserve everything bad that comes their way, I mean, I just, what I think? I think this is something I've said like 13 years ago, and I've said it before the elections. I said it after the elections. I'll continue saying it until it actually enters the brains, the pea brains of our people. And that is, the man needs to be whacked. Okay? The whole Nawaz Sharif family, the whole Zardari family, the whole armies and their families, all of those in the establishment, their families, even those media personnel, their families, all those that were involved in this heinous crime towards the people of Pakistan, they need to be whacked. Okay, there is a reason why kings of old times would not just kill the traitor but his whole family. Think about it. There was a reason for that. So, all I can say right now is we've got a prostitute as the chief minister of Punjab. We've got a pimp as the president, who's also a smuggler, by the way. And then we've got another pimp who is also not just a pimp, but also a bouncer and an escort, again in Punjab. I don't know how this is going to actually continue to work out. I'm not abusing them. They are actually, they're actually that, okay? I'm not abusing them. I'm not swearing at them. I'm not cursing at them. They are actually that. Seriously. This is their, this is the kind of, these are the businesses that they do, and they own. And, from child pornography to sex trafficking to drug trafficking to smuggling to human smuggling to human trafficking, to prostituting. I mean, it's all in it. I mean, seriously. Why else do you think America and Britain will always put such people in other countries? Because again, America and Britain think that they are gods and they need to control the whole world and they need to control and have access to all the resources and blah, blah, blah. And once again, it is just a sign of how demented people are. We've got demented, insane psychopaths, that have taken up leadership roles in different countries. And they are so, they're so insane. They're so delusional that they actually think that, that they're duty bound to own the earth, I don't care, seriously. Do whatever you want, because this world at the end is going to end in any case. The main show begins when the next world begins. And I would just love to see your faces then, pigs. You're going to be true pigs. I would love to see your faces then, grunting here and there. So, yeah, Punjab, again, people keep on saying, oh, Punjab's woken up. Well, okay. Actually, what happened is that, when Sher Marwat came, he was happily welcomed. Actually, the people of Punjab it's not the first time, as we know, even during the elections, the whole Pakistan did that. So once again, because they've got these elections coming up, so the people of Punjab, they are campaigning on behalf of the PTI candidates. And in fact, it's good to see how people joined in from KPK as well to help in the campaigning. That is so nice, actually, to see how the public is literally working, together to help the PTI candidates, to help in their campaign, which has never happened in history, as we know, and it will never happen for any other party, for any other political party. It will never happen. And once again, we need to remind the PTI members at this point that anybody who backstabs Imran Khan, he's out, and he's going to be out in a very, very bad way. The situation that is going to present itself is going to be even worse than the kind that happened to the likes of them before. So you need to be very careful this time. And in fact, it is good to see that the KPK government is very careful. To them, public opinion is everything. So even if there are one or two PTI members who are trying to act up, try to behave as if they're, part of Maryam Nawaz entourage, asking for cars and asking for, maintenance and this and that. So the KPK government has been obliged to tell them to shut up and sit down because the public opinion that came against them was too strong. So, yeah, finally but then that's how PTI has always worked. PTI has always worked in a more democratic way. The problem is with these people, these illegal American touts and minions that are sitting in the federal and the Punjab and in the Sindh seats. The problem is with them, that they don't care about public opinion. obviously, why, how can they, can't afford to care about the public opinion, you see, because as I told you, as I've said it like a billion times for the past so many years, is that they have come here on one mission, and that is to completely dismantle and destroy Pakistan so that America can completely control Pakistan, have access to Pakistan's soil, Pakistan's army, Pakistan's bases, so that it can use Pakistan. Now, keep that in mind. Just understand one thing. If Pakistan is used to attack China, I'm sorry, but you can forget your bye-bye relationship. You can forget all your brotherhood, because China will have no choice but to attack back. It's the same with Iran, like how Pakistan was used, because remember, Pakistan's foreign policy is finished. Pakistan's foreign policy is basically America's foreign policy. So it means that America is dictating Pakistan who to keep friendships with, who to revoke friendships with, and America wants to take over Gwadar, as we know. This is again something that I said long before. Remember that, America, it has its eyes on Gwadar. And look, America is literally trying to take over Gwadar. In India, America is taking over Kashmir, and India's government is thinking that, India's government is even more stupid than Pakistan's government, allowing America to take over Kashmir. And even worse, actually, it's even worse with India than with us, because not just America, but Israel is also stomping in on Kashmir grounds. Keep that in mind. So yeah, you've got on one side America and Britain and half of Europe promoting genocide and creating proxy wars as always, and they're just dying to have a world war, an eruption of the world war. After all, as I said, this is something they've been planning for over a century. So yeah, no problems, man. As I said before, nothing. I mean, I don't care about it, because I know that at the end you are just digging up your own graves. This war will essentially destroy the Western world. And it's kudos then, it's great. We don't have to do all the hard work. They'll just do it for us themselves, because I'm sorry to say, but this is a fact now. And anybody who tries to even hypocritically tries to argue with me on this, all I'll say is fitte mo to you, seriously, because it is a fact. If you want world peace, the Western world needs to be destroyed. There is no other way. And you know it. So do I. So does the whole world. And this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.